त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सेदसादनम् प्रणो देवे सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवते धीनामवित्रयवतो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my divine salutations at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan. Respected elders, my dear brothers, I welcome you all to this Dhyana Vahini session for chapter 10 to chapter 14. We have with us Dr. Sanjay Mahalingam, who will explain the essence in depth of what these 5 chapters have. The depths, the essence that we fail to understand shall be spotlighted, highlighted to us in the divine words of our most beloved Bhagwan by Dr. Sanjay Mahalingam. And without further ado, I would like to take this honor to introduce Dr. Sanjay to all the participants present in this session. To begin with, Dr. Sanjay Mahalingam is a proficient academic and educator at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prashanthi Nilayam. While his areas of expertise include quality management, operations management, supply chain management, and transformational leadership, Dr. Sanjay is widely regarded as a gifted communicator, a skill that he has consciously employed in transmitting the teachings of our beloved spiritual master, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Dr. Sanjay has been blessed with many personal interviews over the course of his years as a student and research scholar of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Amongst other travels, such as those to Chennai for the Ati Rudra Mahayagna 2007, he has had the rare fortune of accompanying Swami on highly coveted Kodaikanal trips on 3 different occasions in the years 2005, 2006, and 2007. He was an important part of the famous university convocation dramas of 2004 and 2005. The diverse interactions with Bhagwan allowed him to witness the munificence of Avatar in its varied manifestations. Having spent a decade in the invaluable opportunity to be able to glean from his experiences with Bhagwan, wisdom that is astonishingly simple yet very profound. Passionate about self-transformation and intrinsic human potential, Dr. Sanjay's primary methodology draws upon traditional wisdom to solve contemporary problems, mentoring Swami students, turning their snags inside out, and facilitating an environment of outer productivity. Fueled by inner joy remains his abiding love and life's delight. Among the many awards he has received, he cherishes most the feedback he receives from students and workshop participants year after year. Dr. Sanjay Mahalingam, after completing his MBA in 2004 and PhD in 2008, is currently an assistant professor in the Department of Management and Commerce, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prashanthi Nilayam. With this, I now request Dr. Sanjay to please proceed forward with this session. Over to you, sir. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you, Rikshit. Even before I request Brother Sanjay to come on board, thank you very much, Dr. Sanjay, for coming back to be a part of this family of Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. I'm still in office. That's the reason I'm not on camera. Please pardon me. But welcome back. And shortly, we'll be seeing you live also in Prashanthi Nilayam, most probably in the first week of May. So I'm sure that the kids out here will have a wonderful time, and you being a very jubilant speaker, I think you will add a lot of value to our children here. Thank you once again, and over to you, brother Sairam.
Sairam, we are here to summarize the Dhyana Vahini, chapters 10 to 14. Now, Swami's words are already actually quite simple. And all the 5 chapters put together are really not more than about 15, 16 pages. Small pages, literally 3 paragraphs per page, So there's really nothing much to summarize. It's really very standard and obvious. So I will take any questions. Have you all read? I'm sure you must all have read it. Or have you been instructed to read and come for this session? Or have you come without reading? Just for my information. Have you all gone through what is there in the chapters 10 to 14? Okay. So, yeah, go ahead. This is your session. Huh? In case you're thinking this is my session and I have an agenda and I have come to teach something, sorry, no, it's your session. Whatever matters to you matters to me. Whatever you want to create for yourself, I am here to facilitate that process. I myself have no agenda, nothing much to share, no advice to give. If something matters to you, this is a safe space. We are all one family. It's always so wonderful to return to this program, NLP. I had such a good time last year and the year before that. It's been a tremendous. I still am in touch with some friends who I made during the last 2 years of NLP. So it's great. So if something matters to you, feel free to get it in the public space here in this small group, and let us look at it and let's see mutually what we can create in the next hour or so. You can speak in any language, English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu also I can manage. Yes, Ganesh.
Yeah, even before that, brothers, if you have any questions, you put your hands up. I'll call out your name. You can come on camera and we can talk. Yeah.
Yes, Ganesh, KVSS Ganesh, KVVSS Ganesh. Yes, Ganesh, go on.
Sairam, I am visible and audible now.
Yes, you are.
Sairam, brother, very happy to see you on this session. And my question is about the one-pointedness. Yes, as you asked, we have been instructed to go through, and we have a schedule to read the chapters, and the team is so kind enough to simplify the translated into the Telugu version into English, and then even further simplify the chapters and sharing the PDF version of that to understand even much more better way, and read it regularly and every day. Morning we will have a reading session, and evening we will have attend to 2-3 questions quiz. So that is how we are Dhyana as well as reading about it, what Swami actually intended to say. And one question is triggering my mind when I'm looking into the one-pointedness. So Swami is always telling that dharana, or concentrating on one thing or one task, is the meditation, and that is the main intention of that. And if you can achieve it, then everything, the rest of the things will fall in place. So when I'm doing that, when I'm talking about leadership or any other apart from dhyana, when I'm coming to the outside world and the activities related to that, then the corporate culture or the employers will encourage us to do multitasking. So while focusing on one thing, managing many more things at a time, that is given a preference as a skill, very important skill. So how we can be one-pointedness, how we can maintain that one-pointedness and do a multitasking. So which will be a tricky thing in when we are coming into this meditation, meditative state, and going back to the regular life, and there is a confusion here for me. I don't know that many of my brothers also have the same question in mind.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Ganesh. I got it. Yes. Anything else? Anyone? Okay, let us first talk about this. So you see, when we speak of dhyana, there are two aspects to it. One is the aspect of sitting and doing dhyana or meditation, ideally twice a day. There are certain times of the day where Swami says it is better and more powerful to do that, but the nature is either in silence or the nature is in transition. Okay, there are certain times we can discuss that. I didn't read this in the chapters 10 to 14, but in my own experience, I have found certain times more powerful for meditation. Now, that is the one aspect where you actually sit and try to bring absolute stillness to your inner being. The other aspect is to be able to carry that silence throughout the day. So the first aspect, we might call it transcendence, where you actually transcend your mind and your body and you really sit in the silence of the being. The second is conscious living. Okay. Of course, it is challenging to carry that silence throughout the day during multitasking. It is challenging. Now, as I am speaking to you right now, 30% to 40% of my attention is within myself, so that I ensure that the words I speak do not only come from an intellectual understanding, but from a deeper alignment within myself. So it is not that it is not possible. It can be done, it needs to be done, and it is slightly challenging. Not challenging, it needs a certain level of commitment, a certain level of inner commitment. Not to get totally carried away in external action and the expectations of reward, etc. It's fine to have all that, but some portion, 10%, 5%, 30%, 40%, whatever you can, it is definitely possible to keep that attention inward, using whatever method of meditation you're used to, watching your breath, visualizing the form, or having a connection with Swami, etc., etc. It is possible and doable. Now, most important thing before meditation, for meditation to happen during the day, is actually a certain level of detachment from life. A certain level of detachment is vital. It is inescapable. We can't be living a highly excitable life and highly stimulated life and chasing things with vehemence and still expect our life to be meditative. These two things will not go together. You can expand your life in whatever dimension you want, by which I mean you can earn wealth, you can have relationships, you can have a family, you can expand your life in all dimensions. But a certain meditativeness will come to your life only when there is a sense of detachment. Detachment means, and I'm saying this loosely, detachment means I don't care. Deep down, we should be in that state, I really don't care. Not in a bad way as if I'm selfish, but deep down, I know that everything happens the way it ought to happen. Everything is all right. There is really nothing to worry about anything. There's an underlying perfection in the seemingly imperfect world. So this sense of detachment and renunciation, like, okay, I will do my effort, but ultimately I deep down, it's okay. I really don't care. Only then you can have a sense of meditativeness. Let me give you an example right now. As I told you, I'm trying to keep 30% of my attention inward even as I am speaking to you. It is only possible because, and don't get me wrong when I say it's because I know there's a family and I'm going to be very frank and clear in my words without beating around the bush. I don't care. Deep down, I don't care how this session goes, which does not mean I will not give it my best. It is, in fact, it is quite the contrary. Because deep down, I don't care, I am completely available to give my best. Because too much caring inside creates fear and anxiety. It never allows you to be completely available to the moment. When we are caring too much, we are very busy seeing how do I look, how do I sound, how are others seeing me, and our whole attention is outside in trying to fix the outside world. So when there's a certain level of detachment, okay, and I'm simply using this phrase, I don't care. Deep down, it's all fine. It's all fine. Whatever has to reach whomever, it will reach. Whoever has to get what will get it. We are just instruments. Okay. If I am not saying these words, if you had to hear these words, somebody else would have said these words. I am insignificant. You are insignificant. All of us are nothing. We are nobody. We are nothing. And since we are nothing, we are doing nothing. It's all just a play. So if we approach life with a sense of detachment and renunciation, then we become more and more available to this moment. And then we can, some of our meditativeness can seep into our daily actions. Ganesh, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, very much. And when you mentioned that 40% are when we try to fix the outside things, that happens with me when I sing bhajans.
Yeah.
Usually, just now before the session, I participated in a bhajan session, and my focus is like I have to be perfect in singing bhajan and on to be on time in this session as well. So I'm trying to manage the things, and I miss the actual what Swami actually required the bhava. But not throughout the bhajan. At some point of time, yes, I connected with the bhajan and Swami, but not the complete throughout the bhajan. So, as you mentioned, so it comes with a practice.
Yeah, it comes with conscious willingness, yes, followed by practice. One has to remember to remember. Remember to remember. Remember to remember that inner reality is primary, outer reality is secondary. Life is experienced within. Okay, it appears outside, but the experience of life happens within. It does not happen outside. Okay, so in deep sleep, we have no experience of the universe. Experience starts when I wake up. So experience happens within. So keeping the inner reality as primary, that is the first step in bringing attention inward. Great. Thank you, Ganesh. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yes. Anybody else? Please raise your hands.
Yes, brother. We have Brother Sai Krishna from Maharashtra, M02. Please go ahead.
Please, yeah. And just one small thing before you ask the question, brother. Being good in English means nothing. It is not a mark of any kind of a special ability or any kind of a special class or intelligence. Okay? We are all not English people. I just want to say this. Do not feel shy if your English, you feel if your English is not up to the mark. Okay? Intelligence has nothing to do with one silly language. It's not even such a good language, English. Okay? So, yeah, it's phonetically all absurd. So, feel free to communicate in any language. You should get me and I should get you. That's all that matters. Okay?
Yes.
Go on. Please go on, Sai Krishna.
Yes. Haram, first of all. Haram, and thank you so much for like being here and like for answering our questions and all. While reading the chapters, Swami mentions that we should have control over our impulses. Like everything that we are is driven by our impulses. So so like whatever like I have like understood and realized that first the impulse come and then we act upon. So to have a right actions and to like to discriminate and to differentiate, that should we be doing that or should we be controlling to not going after that? So there's so to how to increase that gap or the time between the impulse and the action, and like what are like first and definite way is meditation only, but how to like to go deeper and being conscious and how to increase that gap.
Very nice. So Swami has clearly answered your question. In fact, I will quote from the Dhyana Vahini. This is from page 40. Right at the end of page 40, Swami says, anyone aiming at the realization of God should practice the diminishing of impulses, the curbing of the mind, and the understanding of the fundamental principle. One of these is not enough. All three are required. What Swami means is this. Now you have to observe yourself how we get into habits. Okay. our eyes sees something. Okay, let us say you see your phone, all right, or your phone buzzes. Zzz, all right, now you are in this phone buzzes, zzz, and then that is a sense input. Now there is an impulse. Okay, what is the impulse? The desire is to pick up your phone and look at it. किसने कॉल किया? Who has called me? Who has WhatsApp me? कहीं उसका तो नहीं, इसका तो नहीं. You know what happened?
Yes.
इसने कुछ something post, somebody posted something on Insta. What's going on? I want to know. The impulse is not actually to use the phone. The impulse is much deeper. The impulse is to feel in control. The impulse is the fear of missing out on something. The impulse is to belong to a group or community. The impulse is to just this insecurity of missing out on something, or something has happened which I'm not aware of. That is the deep impulse and fear, the fear of missing out. So first there is a sense input, phone. You can even look at the phone or hear the phone. Then there is this impulse of fear of missing out. And then that impulse is carried out as a habit. Then there's a craving to satisfy that impulse. I need to see what's going on, you know, and then you pick up the phone and then you look at the phone. So this is how habits get formed and how addictions get created. Now, what Swami is very clearly saying is we have to work at all the levels. Try first, the most superficial level is to try to create an environment around yourself where the assault on the senses is minimum. Okay, for example, when my students in the university, they ask me, sir, how to get rid of social media addiction? First thing I tell them is uninstall all the apps from your phone. Use your laptop to go online. Open, I don't even know if Instagram can be opened online, but WhatsApp can be, Facebook can be, you know, all these things can be. So because now it's a little more difficult. You have to open your laptop, you have to put it on, connect to the Wi-Fi, go to the browser, okay?
Yes.
Takes a little effort, which means you will only do it when you need to do it. Phone is too damn easy. 3 clicks and you are in the virtual world of social media, which is nothing useful. And before you know, 2 hours are gone and all we have been doing is watching silly things. Okay. So the first thing, for example, I tell my students is, fine, you can't get rid of social media. Don't. Just change your device. Don't do it on your phone. Do it on your laptop. That itself will make it a little more difficult. So you see, you have to try to create an environment around yourself where you can manage your sensory inputs a little bit. Okay. If you are addicted to, say, watching movies, for example, you know, why I'm saying all this is because these are the things I get in my work. Real problems which my students get to me. So I can't get off Netflix, especially now all education has become online. Then I say, watch Netflix on your desktop, not on your laptop. Desktop means you have to sit in one place and it becomes like a television. Like you have to sit, go to that room, put it on and watch. Slightly to make it more difficult. Laptop means kahin bhi khola, wherever, train, bus, wherever you are watching. These kind of structural changes in your environmental context will help you escape 30-40% of the sensory assault. Okay? That is exactly what Swami is saying. He is not giving these examples because it is in a different cultural context. This book was written many decades back. Now, the second thing Swami is saying is you will have to control the mind, which means you will have to have that love for yourself. All spiritual sadhana and meditation starts with love for myself. If I love myself, I will give myself what is good for me. First, when I love someone else, like how a mother loves a child, she ensures that the best is given to the child. If I love myself, if I am a mother to myself, I will give myself the best. So the next time, even when there's a sensory input, when the hands and legs and the body moves to, you know, fulfill that craving, try to stop it mentally. The third way Swami says is the transformation of the impulse itself. Somebody needs to mute. Okay. The transformation of the impulse, which is at a deeper level, which can happen through meditation. Swami has again and again said this, that in a great person, the impulses become like roasted seeds. They cannot really sprout. So impulses can be transformed by living a sattvic life of meditation, prayer. You can still have entertainment, you can still have fun, but everything in limits, everything in modicum. And living a life of meditativeness will help us to transform our impulses itself. At the deepest level, I will not feel the need to touch my phone. I will not feel the need to watch social media. I will not feel the need to compulsively go to a party. I won't feel the need to compulsively sleep at odd times during the day, or to not go for my morning jog, or whatever the habits you're trying to create or dissolve. The impulse goes when we attach ourselves. Swami clearly says to the divine principle. Swami calls the fundamental principle. When we began to slowly attach our mind to the fundamental divine principle through meditation, then the impulses themselves get transformed. Lower impulses automatically fall away. Like when you look at the sun, the shadow falls behind. When you're facing the sun, your shadow falls behind. Same way, when we attach the mind to the fundamental principle, impulses fall away. So this is what Swami is saying. Recreate your sensory context, exercise mind control, but most important, fundamentally transmute and transform your impulses by spiritual practice. So I hope that was your question and this answer meets your question. All three are equally important.
Yeah, definitely.
If we don't transform our impulses just by sense control, mind control, it is impossible. It's impossible. You can do it 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5th day we will fall. So it is important. We can't allow our senses to run wild. At the same time, constantly transforming the impulses. All three have to go in parallel.
Yeah, that answered like perfectly to my question. And thank you so much, Sairam.
Thank you, Sai Krishna.
Thank you, brother. Brother, next we have Sai Pavan from Telangana State, M08. Brother, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother. Hi, sir. This is Pavan from Hyderabad. I have a question. See, I have, in 2019, I did this form and Nama meditation, sadhana without unknowingly, because of, I feel like it involuntarily happened, but I followed that time lots of detachment, lots of enthusiasm was there, what triggered is also continuously, there was a moment in my career where from morning to evening, I was only keeping earphones and listening to Swami discourses. So, and with God's grace, all the discourses was on the mind, buddhi. So, I know somewhat that discourses triggered me to follow this. I never knew. Later on, now I came to this is what I used to do in 2019. It's all about Dhyana Vahini only, what Swami said. So I had very good experiences and all. I wasn't practicing detachment. It was only Swami, day in, day out. So unknowingly, I know it's I don't know, it's all karma, or I don't know. So what happened is I lost the track. I had to travel a lot. Because of the travel, I couldn't do the sadhana and it took a back step. So I knew or I experiences the value of detachment, to be very frank. Where the situations were very challenging in my family, but still I was detached. It's all related to health. So, but now in present day of 2021, what I see is, I have a family, I have a kid. Somewhere I am at, I feel like my dharma is to keep my son in a better school, give a better education. That will trigger me to earn a better package. You switch over company. Recently, I put down my paper. I'm serving my notice period, looking to join some other company for a package perspective. So again, knowingly, unknowingly, you are again getting into a detachment, attachment, or you are behind worldly comfort, or somewhere the mind says is that, you experience that. Now you are an NLP. Again, Swami is making you to rethink, go back to those days, start practicing this. But the only concern is how to be detached. So what I thought is, when Arjuna said, Krishna said to Arjuna that you are not doing a war for your throne or something, saying that you're doing it for dharma and offer it to Swami. Even though whatever I do, I think giving a best education or shifting some job, I think I offer everything to the Lord. Somewhere I feel in the back of mind, this is something I am doing a whitewashing rather than I'm attached. I'm not totally practicing detachment, which some point in time, which I did and had a wonderful experiences. So that is what my question is. still being in samsara, making your mind to know that how to get detached. So that detachment was way too aggressive. I was not even worried about anything, what may happen, when situations were very bad with my mom and anyone. I used to say, anything will happen as per the God will. I was very detached, but I used to do my duty. But right now I feel like I'm more attached, but being in this day-to-day activity, still how I can be detached. So that is what my question is. Since this thought provoked me to raise my hand, since you just said a couple of minutes back, detachment is very key for this sadhana, which I have experienced. So I request you to just enlighten me with some more details on it, brother. So how do I practice, or
Okay. Thank you.
or else having these thoughts is wrong. I'll give more practical, and I'm a bit scared it's getting recorded. Let's take, I have a property. So I have the rates have
I got your question. Pawan, I got your question.
I was thinking securing it.
Can you hear me, Pawan?
I'm attached. Yes, sir. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I got your question. I got it. If my answer is incomplete, you can add to your question. Okay.
Sure.
Why I'm saying is in the interest of time. Basically your question is how to get detached. We can't live without desires. We simply can't. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a child to take care of, you have a family to take care of. Obviously, you have to earn money. You have to earn not just money, you have to earn more and more money to give comfort to your family. You need to manage property. You need to get a better job. You need to excel in your job. How do we do all this? How can you be detached? What is the meaning of this? So spirituality has to be very practical. It has to be a guiding light in your daily life. It cannot remain in a book. Otherwise, it has no value. We can just throw that book away. If it is not guiding us in our practical life, it has no value. Okay. So I can only tell you from my experience, it is impossible to get detached. What we can do is get attached to a higher divine principle. Then automatically, when we get enough attached to the divine principle within, life begins to look like a dream. Now, how it will happen, I don't know. It happens. Yeah. It will happen. Life just starts to look like a dream. You will still see yourself doing all the tamjham that needs to be done. Okay, you will be doing the effort, the striving, the struggle, but a strange sense of peace will be there within you, because you will know that ultimately it does not matter. But it cannot be an intellectual understanding. It has to come because the mind has become very attached to a deep divine principle. Yeah. Now, this attachment to the divine principle does not need time. I often hear this, and you also said you could not continue your sadhana because you started traveling. Yeah. I'm not going to get into it, but you also know, if you look into it deeply, that is not true. It is never like that. We stop sadhana because we stop sadhana. Yeah. Not absolutely. Because this or that happened. Okay. You did not stop having breakfast because you started traveling. You did not stop having your shower. You did not stop breathing. Right? You did not stop shopping. You did not stop talking. You did not stop thinking. You did not stop using your phone. Yeah. You stopped sadhana because you were traveling. No, we stopped sadhana because we stopped sadhana. There is never any reason. All right. First thing. Second thing is, how do we get attached to the divine principle? Okay. Now, whatever your form of your sadhana. Okay. I have something that I do. Which is, Swami is not speaking too much about it in the Dhyana Vahini, but Swami in Dhyana speaks about form meditation. So for example, if you have a great love for the form, you can continue doing whatever you are doing, but you can continue at the same time to nurture your love for Swami. Tell me, why are these two in conflict? I don't understand that. Are these two in conflict? No. I'm really asking anybody. You wanting to excel in your exam, working hard, wanting to do well in your exam, and also nurturing your love for Swami, just independent of everything, not because Swami has to give you something, not because there is nothing, just because you have a feeling of love for Swami's feet, to nurture it all the time also. Why would there be any conflict? There is no conflict. Does it need time? Tell me. For you to feel love for your mother, do you need time? Time is never required. It is the depth of willingness and attention that creates the difference. Time is never less. Time is never the problem in sadhana. Never. I'm going to say never. Not even, I will not even say rarely. It's never the problem. Willingness is. Tell me, all of us, even the busiest person on the planet, let us say Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Modi, he will also have 10 minutes before going to bed and 10 minutes after he gets up. Even if that time also he doesn't have, he can always sleep 15 minutes later and get up 15 minutes earlier. Who stops us from meditating 15-20 minutes before going to bed, sitting on your bed, meditate and then sleep? Who stops us from getting up from sleep and meditating 15-20 minutes before we put our feet down from the bed? Who stops us? Even the busiest man or woman on the planet will have that much time. 15 minutes before going to bed, 15 minutes after getting up. So time is never a problem. First, remove this idea. It's never a problem. It's a lie we tell ourselves. First thing. So whatever is your issue, I'm not able to get detachment, I'm getting drawn to all this. My only solution always is increase and nurture your love for the divine principle side by side. Continue that work. Slowly that part of you will overtake the other parts of you that are overwhelming you in your life. It will happen slowly, gradually, but surely. If you continue to nurture. Now, how? That's another point of discussion, but there are many methods. Whatever works for you, visualizing the form, self-inquiry, just thinking of Swami, if you have that kind of a devotion, which is frankly very rare. Okay. So if you, if you can continuously nurture your love for Swami, it will all work out eventually.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Right.
It's really that simple, Pawan, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you.
Yep. We simply have to have the willingness and the self-love to invest that much of time and energy in nurturing our relationship with Swami.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, brother. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, we have some raised hands. Please go on.
Yes, brother. So can we have Brother Jubain from West Bengal, M06? Brother, can you please come online?
Sir.
It's
a wonderful session. I am Jubain Yalmo. I am from West Bengal, Darjeeling. Sir, as a youth, we always face difficulties in decision. So my question is that how we can control our mind from the bad thoughts and make a good thoughts in day-to-day life, and that we can decide a good decision. Because we are the youth, we always face in decision-making problems. So how we can decide that we can success in life, sir?
Okay, what decision-making problem are you facing, Jubain? Is it possible for you to be specific?
Yes, sir. I'm doing. I'm also doing competitive UPSC exams post. So when I study, I face so many problems, and when I decision problem that some things, some decision that I cannot control, that is some bad thoughts will come, and how we can control our bad thoughts.
Okay, Jubain, I got it. How to control bad thoughts. So once in an interview, I asked Swami something similar, and Swami said there is no such thing as bad or good thoughts. Actually, I asked impure. Swami said there is no such thing as pure or impure thoughts. Okay, now then comes the climax. Swami said thought itself is impure. That is Swami's level of inner silence, transcendence. Swami said nothing like pure or impure thoughts. Thought itself is impure. Be beyond thought. Of course, that's not what Swami is saying in the book. In the book, Swami is saying that create good thoughts, create good impulses. But just I'm saying, Swami said this to me in an interview room. Now, how to avoid bad thoughts? Jubain, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So, I can only tell you the practice that I do. Okay, I have not done form meditation in my life. So I do not know. The information is available in the book, but I only talk about things which I have done and which have worked for me. I will not talk about things just because I know them. So I only know what I have practiced. So tell me, now you're right now sitting here, Jubain. Remain unmuted. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a chat. Remain unmuted. Are you comfortable with English? Do you prefer any other language?
Yes, sir. English.
हिंदी ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
बंगाली नहीं आता मुझे.
हाँ जी.
हिंदी और English. Yeah? Okay.
नहीं,
all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, I'm assuming कि यहाँ पे बहुत लोग हिंदी लोग भी होंगे, because generally it is from all parts of the country. So I will try to use some Hindi words, but then there will also be some Tamilians and also I'm just wondering. Let us see. Now, अभी आप यहाँ बैठे हैं, Jubain. You're sitting here, ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
The totality of your life experience, right now you're sitting here. The totality of your life experience, what is it? Forget before yesterday, forget tomorrow. Right now you are sitting here, and anybody can feel free to answer. Only Jubain need not. Anybody. When you're sitting here, what is the totality of your life experience? आपका जो life अभी आप यहाँ पे बैठ के as you're experiencing life around.
Sir.
Sorry?
Sir, मैं अब yes, I am sir. अभी मैं एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ सर. लाइफ मेरा लाइफ तो अच्छा चल रहा है अभी.
नहीं, अभी नहीं चल रहा है टॉर्चर. अभी आप यहाँ बैठे हैं, अभी इस वक्त जैसे आप यहाँ पे बैठे हैं. व्हाट इज योर लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस अभी?
इज डूइंग गुड सर.
गुड बैड नहीं. व्हाट इज योर लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस? एनीबडी कैन आंसर. एनीबडी फील फ्री टू हेल्प Jubain. As you're sitting here, your first experience is your body.
Yes,
correct?
Body, yes, sir.
You can experience your body.
Yes,
you're
sir.
sitting on the chair. You can experience
yes, sir.
thoughts. You said mind. I'm
Thoughts,
saying
yes.
thoughts. Yes.
Thoughts, yes.
You are having emotions. You say, "Oh, my life is a torture." Means there is some emotion.
Emotions. Yes, sir.
Feeling. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Breath है, सांस है.
Yes, yes,
ठीक
sir.
है? मुझे एक बात बताइए बस. अभी आपके पूरे लाइफ में is there something inside you which never changes? Simple. Body changes.
Yes,
Change,
sir.
na? Body changes, no? You go for a haircut, body has changed.
Yes,
Body has
yes,
changed.
sir.
Over time, body has changed. Yes. But
our soul cannot change.
No. Soul कहाँ है? दिखाओ. कहाँ है soul?
Inside the body.
Inside the body कहाँ है? कहाँ छिपा है? Liver में, spleen में, intestine में कहाँ मिलता है ये?
In the heart.
हार्ट में?
Pure heart.
Really? उस वाले हार्ट में? So inside the body ये सब बातें हैं. I will come to that. We'll come to that. ठीक है ना? Body is changing. What in your experience बताओ Jubain, what is not changing? Soul is not. Is soul in your experience right now? Can you experience your soul? Feel it, touch it,
No, sir.
perceive it, experience
No,
it?
sir.
नहीं ना? तो अपने experience में अब भी
No, sir.
books में जो पढ़ा है भूल जाओ. Forget books. Right now, in your experience, what is it inside you or about you that does not change? Anybody can help Jubain.
Yeah, I would like to take that shot. I feel your emotions.
Pavan, बोलो.
Your आपका emotions or all the thoughts or ups and downs in life is keep on happening. Like the graph.
Yes.
These are
What doesn't change? What is it that doesn't change?
This change itself is not changing.
Raghavendra, what is the self? कहाँ है ये self? Raghavendra Prabhu, was it?
Yes, sir. It's me.
Yeah, tell me. I want to know. I'm not contradicting you, ma. I am just trying to understand. You see, we Sai devotees, and this is again one family, so I'm telling. One thing all of us have become very good at is what? One thing Sai devotees, Sai students, all of us are super good at. What? बताओ, fill in the blanks. In your experience, सच्ची बताओ. दिल पे हाथ रख के बताओ. Sai devotees, Sai students, all of us have become very good at one skill.
Sai Ram.
Many, yes. But what is one skill Sai devotees are very good at?
Bookish knowledge.
Yes, usage of words. We love throwing words around. Atma, self, Paramatma, Jivatma, Gyan, Jnana Marga, Bhakti Marga, Atma, self. You know, study circles we do. Lot of words we use. And then we think we know. But we don't. When the tire hits the road, we are found wanting. Why I'm saying is, that is why in this work, in this few minutes, let us stick to our experience, something that we can actually take away from this classroom beyond words. So in your experience, tell me right now, as you are sitting here, in your experience, what is there anything about you that you experience right now that does not change? Somebody put in the chat box, breath. Doesn't breath change? Have you noticed when you're happy, you breathe a different way. When you're sad, you breathe a different way. When you're angry, you breathe a different way. When you're meditating, you breathe a different way. And in samadhi, your breath actually stops. So breath also is changing. You run, doesn't your breath change?
Yes.
If you're sitting still, so breath is changing. The nature of the breath is always changing. Yes, breath is not stopping, but it is changing. Thoughts are changing. That's why we scheme pure thoughts, pure thoughts. Now, Guben said his life is a torture right now, but at one point of time, it was not a torture. And someday it will be fine. So emotions are changing, body is changing. In your experience, anything about you that is not changing at all? In your experience. Sir, this is about me. ये बिल्कुल change ही नहीं होता सर. मैं देख रहा हूँ ये ऐसे क्या वैसे ही है. As it is always as it is. In neither it changes in nature. उसका nature जो भी है वो चीज मेरे बारे में ऐसे ही है. It does not change. What is it?
Sir, can I?
Yes, anybody can. Go on.
So my name, physical body's name.
Sorry, ma, I am not understanding. What?
What is my name actually? Name could not change.
What's your name?
Satya Sarup.
Satya Swarup. Okay.
Self-will.
Satya Swarup क्या है? It is only a sound, na? Yes, Ganesh. Good. We'll come to that. Satya Swarup. Satya Swarup. 5 syllables का sound है. You have trained your mind to listen to that sound. And whenever somebody says Satya Swarup, you turn. Am I right, Satya Swarup?
Yes, sir.
Just for this session, for the next 15 minutes, can I call you Ramesh, please?
No, sir.
Arey, adjust kar lo yaar. 5 minutes, I'll call you Ramesh. ठीक है? I'm saying I'm going to call you Ramesh. I insist. Now, if I say Ramesh, will you not respond? Or at least you will know now I'm talking to you. Satya Swarup? Ramesh, are you there? भाग गया क्या मीटिंग छोड़ के?
That will be not that much easier for me.
No, wait. I just changed your name, na? Did something change about you? Your thoughts, emotions, height, weight?
Yes, sir.
Nothing changed, no? Name changed. Did anything change about you? Anything changed about you? Tell me. Please don't remain quiet.
No, sir.
Then
Everything is okay, but just name is okay.
so name is changed. How is name permanent? What is the name? Name में तो कुछ भी नहीं रखा ना फिर. Somebody said deep sleep doesn't change. Good. I appreciate that observation. Very nice. But deep sleep is not in our awareness. It is not in our experience. That's the only thing. Very good. That is what I call observation. Now, he did not go to some book. He did not say Atma, Gitma and all. He said deep sleep doesn't change. Correct. I don't know who was that, but deep sleep doesn't change. He's right. Even if you're anxious once in your deep sleep, it is always the same. You are happy once in your deep sleep, nobody is happy, nobody is anxious. It is deep sleep. Deep, dreamless sleep. Doesn't change. Perfect. But you know about deep sleep only after you have gotten up. अच्छे से सोया यार. In the deep sleep, you are not aware that you are sleeping deeply. So, heartbeat, of course, heartbeat changes. क्या बात कर रहे हो? गर्लफ्रेंड का मैसेज आता है तो हार्ट बीट नहीं बढ़ता नहीं है तुम्हारा? Of course, heartbeat changes all the time. If I take your name 3 times right now, your heartbeat will increase. So heartbeat भी change होता है. Somebody says आत्मा, ये मुझे नहीं पता ये आत्मा परमात्मा क्या होता है भाई. किसी को पता है तो बता दो मुझे. If anybody knows what is Atma, please explain to me. I really don't know where is this Atma. I have not seen this Atma and all that. So what is it about you does not change? Only one thing doesn't change about us. The I. Okay, somebody said that my presence. Yes, it is just presence. Actually, it is not my presence, but take it. It's only presence. Yes. When you say, when Jubain said, my life is a torture, or I am undergoing torture. Tomorrow, he says, sir, torture is over, sir, by Swami's grace, everything has worked out perfectly. Now I am very happy. Now I want you to see this. When Jubain says, I am in torture, then tomorrow he says, sir, all worked out well. I am happy. Then he says, sir, I am coming to Puttaparthi. Okay. Sir, I am getting married. Or I am going here. I am like this. I am like that. I am Jubain. The thing is, you see, all these situations, the simple I that I point to myself never changes in its nature, in its substance, in its quality. It never changes. Never. Dhyan se dekho is baat ko. Even when you were 10 years younger, when you say, now suppose Jubain says, I don't know Jubain's age, maybe let us say 30 years or 25. Let us say Jubain says, sir, I am 25 years old. 3 saal pehle he would have said, sir, I am 22 years old. Or 3 saal pehle, I am 19 years old. 19, 22, 25 years ka Jubain, तीनों का I में कुछ difference था क्या? Tell me. The I in its nature, in its quality, it is always the same from the moment we become conscious to the moment we die. The I remains same. That is the only thing about you and me that never changes. That is the only changeless thing, and that is the pathway to God. So if we bring our attention to that simple principle of I-ness that shines in our heart, just I. This is a very, very powerful meditation. I always talk about it in all my sessions because this is something I have done and it has worked like magic for me. So on this, I can talk with authority. Other things I cannot speak much, but this I can speak with authority because I've done this for many, many years, from about 2010, 2011. If you bring your attention back to the simple I am, before I say I am Sanjay, working in SSSIHL, doing this, I am, this is my height. Before the I am becomes this, that I am a male, I am Sanjay, I am a good boy, I am a bad boy. I am के बाद जो आगे चला जाता है. If we stop ourselves there and we come back to the I am and gradually, gently with love, get your attention back to the I am. I am. उसका क्या मतलब है? When you say I, bring your attention and look at that I thought. Hold your attention steadily on the I. वो करके आप देखिए, then you will know the power and the magic of this. Simply being. Correct, Sai Krishna. 2006 में कोडेकनल में स्वामी एक दिन सडनली भजन करके आए, हॉल में आके बैठे, ड्राइंग रूम में बैठे. हम अबाउट 16-17 बच्चे थे. And then there were some VIPs and all that. Swami पूछे suddenly, अच्छा बताओ, who am I? Swami asked, some of you may have heard this, I have spoken about this in many, Sai Krishna is vigorously nodding his head, but some of you may not have, but something is very beautiful. Swami asked, अच्छा बताओ कौन हूँ मैं? Swami asked all of us, about 25-30 people are sitting in the room. Swami said, who am I? Pointing to himself, बोले मैं कौन हूँ? तो बस, as I said, Sai devotee is very good with words. हम तो स्वामी को भी नहीं छोड़ते. तो शुरू हो गया धनाधन सबका आंसर. स्वामी आप, you are the embodiment of love. Swami said, Kadu. Kadu means no in Telugu. Then somebody said, Swami, you are God. Don't know pata. Fool. Buffalo. No. ऐसे ऐसे बहुत सारे आंसर्स है, स्वामी ये एंड स्वामी ये, आप ये हैं, आप वो हैं, यू नो, योर कंपैशन, करुणा मूर्ति, दिस, नो 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 नो. Then somebody said this one, I remember clearly. I even know which is the person, but I won't take the name. It's a very famous person. He said, Swami, you are Paripurna Avatara. You are the complete manifestation of the divine. Swami said, Adu kade kadu. And those of you who know Telugu, that I definitely am not. Adu kade kadu, Swami told. I'm not joking. Huh? Swami said, Adu kade kadu. What rubbish people are talking? Paripurna Avatara. Swami said, no. And finally, we all gave up. And Swami said, Nenu, Nene. I am I. You are adding, oh, this Swami didn't say this, I am saying, you are going on adding words and descriptions. I am this, I am that. I am just I. Simply being, as somebody wrote in the chat, I am simply I. Now, this is something that if you experience, you'll understand what I am saying, the power of simply being. In simply being, everything seems perfect. Even like how Pawan was asking, what do I do about the struggles of my life? How do I do this? How do I try to operate from the simple aspect of being? Create that space of being inside you, and then the struggles also will look like some joke. You will struggle, yet you will find it funny, and you will just, it will not strain you, it will not not create wear and tear if we follow the simple process of bringing back attention to the I am. It is the simplest sadhana. You just have to be at it for some time, because initially the I is like a thought in the head, so you will not really appreciate what I'm saying. But if you go on paying attention to the I, paying attention, I, क्या है ये, कहां से आ रहा है, what is this I, wow, look at it, let me look at this I, धीरे धीरे then you will actually feel कि energy सर से निकल के heart की तरफ आने लगेगा, and you will actually start feeling the silence which is beyond the I. Now it appears to you that these are all big things I'm saying. It is not. It is a very, very simple thing I'm saying. You always say, I am this, I am that. I am just saying, I am बोल के रुक जाओ and pay attention to the I am. Which is exactly what Swami said. I am I. It's a circle. I am I. I am I. Am I. Am I. Am I. You know, like Ram, Ram, Ram. Mara also becomes Ram, Ram, like that. I am I. Am I. Am I. Stay in that and then see the magic. If you practice this, it's about the inquiry, who am I? Yes, very similar. If you practice this sincerely, and if you practice this for some time, and then if you're feeling you're getting stuck in this process, you can get in touch with me. Vishalakshi has my number. You can take my number and WhatsApp me. Then we can, if needed, we can talk. Okay? Only if you are practicing this for a few weeks. Don't just call me and say, sir, मेरा ऐसे हो गया, exam में अच्छा marks नहीं, अब मैं क्या करूं? क्या करूं? मैं थोड़ी हूं तुम्हारा examiner. I can't give you marks. But if this you are practicing sincerely, who am I am I, and if in that you experience something, and if you get stuck somewhere or whatever, there's nothing really get stuck, but if in that, you can freely get in touch with me. Yes, Mr. Sai Kiran.
Sai Ram, grateful to be Swami student, Sai Kiran. Thank you for your very words of full of wisdom, sir. Sir, I have something that you mentioned upon how you can expand your horizon of life in terms of materialistic nature that you spoke about. I would like to reiterate what my understanding is, and if it is correct, kindly compliment or give me your review on it. That is, like my brothers who asked this question earlier, like, for example, if I have a desire or an ambition to go after knowledge, material wealth, or whatever the materialistic nature of this world is, I am free to go after it, correct? But I have to understand that I don't run after it. Even if I fail after doing a certain amount of effort, I should be content. That is what the last chapter was about. There's this thing about it, the content part, and something you mentioned, like you can expand, but you have to know that even if you fail, you should not stuck in a rut, that in order to get it, you should know that you have to be morally correct with your efforts. If you fail, again try it. If you fail, again try it. But I am free to go after the materialistic wealth or whatever I wanted, knowledge or any form of materialistic thing in this world. That is one, the first part. And I have others as well. And one second is self bond that I want to get relieved of.
One second, Kiran. Can we first address the first one and then I'll forget the question?
The first one is, like, for example, you said you can expand in any form of materialistic life. But the crazy part is once you fail, right, or twice you fail, that hunger or that senseless pleasure that you want to achieve it, the competition, the inequality, you want to achieve it. It's just that you get stuck in it and you want to get it at any cost. So what you were trying to say is that I have to understand that I'm free to go after it, but I should have that sanity. Even if I fail, I should be content. Okay, this is not the right time. I should start again and see if I want to achieve 100 on 100 on my exam or on my knowledge report card.
One second. Let me add, Kiran. So the thing is this: you can want something because you feel inadequate. Okay, I will be better off. My life experience will be more complete if I get better marks in my exam. My life experience will become more complete if I have a partner, if I have this, if I have a better car, a bigger house. Then we are preparing for disappointments in life and suffering. Guarantee. We can expand either because I feel I lack something, or I can expand with a sense of exploration. When we meditate deeply, and there is no escaping this, when we meditate deeply, whatever your method of meditation, you will come to a place inside yourself where you will feel, I am okay. घर हो ना हो, पैसा हो ना हो, health हो ना हो, family हो ना हो, deep down I know I am okay. Fundamentally, I am already whole, perfect and complete. WHOLE, whole. Already Purnamadah Purnamidam. I am already Purnam. That settlement has to happen inside. Look at that. Settle ho jao. Kahan settle hona hai? Bhai, yahan settle hona hai. First, when you have attained that inner sanctuary, then you can explore life along any dimension. Then automatically there will be a different nature to your exploration. You will not want to explore certain things. You may still want to explore certain things. You may want to explore relationships. You may want to explore abundance. Abundance means more money. Everything is more. You know, it is like this. Dekho, if you're climbing a ladder, Kiran, if you're climbing a ladder, what will help you to go high up the ladder?
I have to go step by step.
What is the first requirement that you feel free to just run up the ladder? First requirement.
I have to put my feet on the first step.
Okay. First, second, third, you will not feel afraid. You just run up. Most important thing is the ladder should not be shaky. 4 kadam mein upar gaya and whenever the ladder may fall, then you will never have the courage to really go high up. You will only go that far कि ladder गिर गया तो मैं कूद सकता हूं. But when your ladder is rock steady, then you can run up 100 steps also. You will not have the fear that the ladder will collapse. Same way, when you get settled inside through meditation, to dhyana, then only you will have the courage to fearlessly expand in any horizon of your life. So the most important thing that it remains is spiritual practice. Do not ignore that. You are free. Yes, you are God only. You are free to do whatever you want to do with your body and mind. It is your body, your mind. So yes, you are free to expand. But if you lose your grip on your inner sanctuary, inner divinity, Swami, then you are preparing for some form of suffering.
So I get your point. But what I have to manifest internally, right? You're telling you have to manifest internally so that it can manifest externally. Right?
No, I'm not saying anything about manifest. I didn't even use the word manifest.
Like
you are that to
meditation. Like you said, I have to be concrete inside.
Correct. Na? You are already, na? I is always there. When you say, sir, can I expand? Am I free to expand? Who is free to expand? Is the body expanding? What is expanding? I is expanding. Who is expanding? I. Pay attention to the I. Go to the source of the I. Know who you are first. Before having so many questions, Swami also has said this in hundreds of discourses. Everybody has so many questions. YouTube may make discourse, Swamika. People have so many questions, but nobody is asking, who am I? First ask that question. Then you can find the answers to all other questions. So I'm not talking about manifestation. That's a whole different thing, that it has to come inside then outside. I'm simply saying, if you feel okay within yourself, sitting all alone in a room, without any emotional support, if you just sit in one room, अकेले room बंद करके बैठ जाओ, एकदम अकेले. And in this moment, right now, if you can experience your absolute completeness, wow,
Choice.
I'm so full. I'm so full कि इसमें कुछ ऐड ही नहीं हो सकता. Wow. Like that, if you can experience your fullness right now sitting here, then you can courageously go and expand. Whatever you want to do, you can do, because you know there is a fallback.
Then I have a next question to this. Like you're saying, right? Until you feel that completeness, then you start exploring the life. Then coming to what Arjuna was said, he should have gone and followed the path of Sankhya and then
until नहीं मैंने बोला, ये दोनों साथ में जाता रहेगा.
So the spiritual practice has to be done.
That is what I answered. That's what I told to Pawan also. Na? We cannot stop everything, but remember this. Jitna tumko andar you will be holding inside tight, that much less will be your suffering. The lesser you are connected inside, the more your outer pursuits will create suffering for you. Guarantee that is 100% true. That is inescapable reality of life.
So I got that point. So my inner willingness has to be focused on the other side rather than the outside, so that
do both. Swami told me this. Swami told me this is a little personal thing. I haven't shared this, but maybe here I will. Swami is giving me the green light. Swami told me, my vision for you is, inside I want you to be a yogi. Outside I want you to have a grand life. It hasn't, I don't know how much it has happened, but this Swami told me, this is my vision for you. Okay. So what I'm saying is, that is why I know there is nothing wrong in living well, because it is also part of self-love. You know, फटे पुराने कपड़े पहन के गंदे गंदा घूमने में कोई क्रेडिट नहीं है भाई. अच्छे से रहो, खुश रहो, मजे में रहो, सब कुछ करो लाइफ में. Means not bad, not things that become addictions, but live a complete life. Why would Swami ever want you to live an incomplete life? But if we are not in complete touch with the inner divine, that outside will create hell. Guarantee. ये तो पक्का है. That's all I am saying. Expand in all dimensions. You see what determines the height of a tree? Tell me. What determines
what is
depth of the root? जितना गहरा root होगा, उतना ऊपर वो tree जाएगा. Simple. The deeper your roots, the more fearlessly you can expand. That's all I'm saying.
Coming on to the second question, since you mentioned.
1 second, Kiran. Just in the interest of fairness, if there are anybody else with questions, I will stop you. If there is nobody else, I'm happy for you to continue. Just for the reason that,
I have just one to add on to this. If I can. All right. You mentioned the concept of higher principle, right? You told that you can't get rid of the lower being, so you have to get attached to a higher being. Now, talking about the self-bondage, for example, if somebody has, and you might have gone through it, and I believe everyone among my brothers here would have gone through it. For example, you go on a stage, for example, I'm about to ask a question. There's a sense of nervousness about self, like you were talking about. What is the counter higher principle that I should be getting myself aligned with to get rid of the self-bondage?
What is self-bondage? I didn't get you.
Self-bondage is something, for example, if I'm about to ask a question, right? I'll feel nervous. I think everyone feels that. That is why that I'm just coming and asking a simple question. I'm nothing doing. I'm not being something that I'm not. Why I feel that I am at the center of the planet. I am the sun, though I am not a sun. I'm a small being. I should not feel that nervousness.
That's all I understood. So fear, how to conquer fear, how to conquer nervousness. Now, what does nervousness come from? The desire to look good. That's all. I should not look like an idiot. That's all. Bas, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that fear of looking foolish goes away, then you will have no nervousness left. At least in this space to ask a question. That's all. मैं कैसा दिख रहा हूँ मतलब नॉट जस्ट कपड़े की भाई मैं मेरा भाषा कैसा है लोग हंसेंगे मेरे क्वेश्चन पे इज दिस क्वेश्चन गुड इफ इट इज योर क्वेश्चन इट इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन इट इज योर क्वेश्चन सो इट इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन हु कैन से इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन और अ बैड क्वेश्चन इफ इट्स योर क्वेश्चन इट्स योर क्वेश्चन व्हाई दिस नर्वसनेस कम्स सो दिस इज द हायर प्रिंसिपल द हायर प्रिंसिपल इज फ्रीडम फ्रॉम द डिजायर टू लुक गुड
So we have to pray for it because
भाई प्रे अरे अटेंशन भाई प्रे क्या है प्रे कुछ कौन है प्रे की कोई जरूरत नहीं अटेंशन इज द रियल प्रेयर अटेंशन क्या है ओके सो देयर आर मेनी मेथड्स अब इतना टाइम नहीं है यहाँ पे देयर आर मेनी मेथड्स टू मैनेज इमोशंस बट राइट नाउ इफ यू गेटिंग दिस फियर आस्क योरसेल्फ व्हाट आर द थॉट्स एवरी इमोशन विल हैव अ सर्टेन थॉट मैं पूछूं क्या मुझे क्वेश्चन है मैं पूछूं नहीं पूछूं डर लग रहा है यार पूछने के पहले अंदर स्टमक में कुछ हो रहा है हुआ था किसी को पिछले को हो रहा होगा यहाँ पे वीडियो डालने के पहले कुछ हो रहा है अंदर गड़गड़ तो एक सेकेंड व्हाट आर माई थॉट्स लुक एट योर थॉट्स लोग क्या सोचेंगे व्हेन यू हैव वैराग्य फ्रॉम योर ओन थॉट्स लोग क्या सोचेंगे अरे सोचने तो यार जो सोचना है क्या है कि NLP खत्म हो जाएगा फिर वो कहाँ मैं कहाँ यू नो अरे मेरी इंग्लिश ठीक नहीं है तो क्या हुआ जो भाषा मैं जानता हूं वो दूसरे नहीं जानते व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज देयर इज अ वैराग्य दैट इज व्हाट
but my struggle is, sir, I am somebody who's still in the kindergarten stage. I don't know how to draw letters, so you're asking me to write words like vairagya, which is
नहीं I'm not asking anything भाई तुम्हारे थॉट्स आ रहा है you have a desire मैं बोल रहा हूँ छोड़ के देखो ना उसको just try to leave the desire to look good देखो क्या होता है ट्राई तो करो क्या हो जाएगा देखो कैसे होता है जिंदगी मजे में जियोगे कुछ नहीं होगा shall I tell you one thing when you are trying to look good when you are obsessed about looking good let us say you are going somewhere airport and you're trying to look अच्छे कपड़े हैं ठीक है what are others trying to do at that time they are looking at you when you are trying to look good what are they doing
they're doing their own
no they are also trying to look good
okay
so nobody gives a damn how you are looking that's what I'm saying you are obsessed about looking good they're also obsessed about their looking good so everybody only is obsessed about their looking good what I'm saying is nobody has time for anybody else so this is a whole wastage of energy am I looking good am I sounding intelligent is my question good is my that good express yourself freely and forget about it okay that's it okay let me take some other questions yes Rishikesh Raman and Jeevan Kumar ऋषिकेश रमन आपका हाथ उठा हुआ है
Sairam sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, sir. Sir, while going through the chapter 9 of Dhyan Vahini, there is a thought that seek company of the good, avoid company of the bad, right, sir? So certainly I have some contradiction in distinguishing which one is good and which one is bad because I am not the sincere person who can judge that yes you are good and you are bad and I am good or you are good I am bad. So how we will distinguish that whether he is a good or he is bad? Suppose anyhow I am able to do that okay he is doing some spiritual बातें वो कर रहा है और वो भगवान की बातें कर रहा है अच्छी अच्छी बातें कर रहा है तो इसके जरिए मैं ये समझ पाता हूँ कि ओके नाउ ओके ही इज अ गुड कंपेनियन विद मी राइट बट अगर मैं ऐसा करता हूँ और उसको मैं ये मान लेता हूँ या कुछ ऐसी विचारधाराएं होंगी उसकी जिससे मैं उसको ये मान लेता हूँ कि वो बुरा है तो क्या मैं यहाँ पे ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि मैंने उसको बुरा मान लिया अपने आप को अच्छा मान लिया तो यहाँ पे भी एक डिस्क्रिमिनेशन टाइप का वो आता है
पहली बात तो ठीक है समझ गया ऋषिकेश पहली बात तो चैप्टर 9 आउट ऑफ सिलेबस है मेरे को सिर्फ 10 to 14 बोला गया था अरे मजाक कर रहा हूँ यार आई एम जोकिंग अरे चिल यार आई एम जस्ट जोकिंग अच्छा तो आपका क्वेश्चन का आंसर ये है कि कोई भी बुरा या खराब नहीं होता ठीक है कुछ लोग कुछ समय में दे पीपल डू सर्टेन थिंग्स एंड अदर टाइम्स दे बिहेव डिफरेंटली ठीक है So when Swami says avoid bad company, avoid good company, Swami never said avoid bad people, avoid good people. वो आपका इंटरप्रिटेशन है। स्वामी बोल सकते थे ना, अवॉइड गुड पीपल और अवॉइड बैड पीपल, अवॉइड गुड पीपल, गो विद गुड पीपल। स्वामी नेवर सेड पीपल, पीपल आपने बना दिया। स्वामी ओनली टोल्ड अवॉइड बैड कंपनी, विच मीन्स अगर आपका दो दोस्त बैठ के गप्पे मार रहे हैं और किसी और को क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं, तो वो टाइम पे आप वहां से चले जाइए कि टॉपिक बदल दो। स्वामी ने तो नहीं कहा किसी को ब्रांड करो ये बुरा इंसान है। स्वामी जी सेड अवॉइड बैड कंपनी। सेकेंडली, दुनिया में अच्छा बुरा कुछ भी नहीं है। देयर इज नो गुड और बैड, देयर इज ओनली एक्शन एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंस। ठीक है, इफ यू आर ट्राइंग टू लूज वेट, बर्गर आपके लिए अच्छा है या बुरा है?
For me, it's good.
इट्स बैड। कैसे? यू ट्राइंग टू लूज वेट, बर्गर इज कौन सा बर्गर है यार? जो कॉन्टैक्ट जो लूज वेट के लिए अच्छा है। व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज योर गोल्स एंड योर एस्पिरेशंस डिसाइड व्हाट इज गुड फॉर यू एंड व्हाट इज बैड फॉर यू. There is no, essentially nothing is good or bad. If you want to live a meditative life, then all forms of stimulation is bad for you. All forms of stimulation, social media, all forms of visual content, which is stimulating, violence, too much sexual content, too much social media, जो भी है, अगर आपको stimulate कर रहा है, तो it is not good for you if you want to live a meditative life. किसी भी चीज में कुछ अच्छा है बुरा नहीं है. सो यू अप्रोच अ सिचुएशन एंड सी कि मैं यहां पे इस कंपनी में हूं, ये मेरे एस्पिरेशंस के लिए अच्छा है या बुरा है. तीन ही सिचुएशंस हो सकते हैं, माइनस, प्लस या जीरो. जीरो मतलब न्यूट्रल है, ठीक है, इट्स नाइथिंग, नाइदर डूइंग मी एनी गुड नॉट डूइंग, ठीक है, टाइम पास, ठीक है. आपको क्लियरली पता लग रहा है कि दिस इज नॉट इन अलाइनमेंट, कि मेरे लाइफ का जो गोल है, एस्पिरेशन है, जो 5 साल में मैं जैसा रहना बनना चाहता हूं, ये उसके अलाइनमेंट में नहीं है, तो खिसक लो ना वहां से. नहीं खिसक पा रहे हो तो टॉपिक चेंज कर दो. कुछ भी नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो स्वामी का नाम चैंट कर लो मन में, हो गया कवच. बहुत रास्ते हैं. इफ देयर इज विलिंगनेस देयर आर मेनी वेज, इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. ठीक है, नो नीड टू ब्रांड एनी ह्यूमन बीइंग एज गुड और बैड. नोबडी इज गुड और बैड.
Certainly, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Jeevan Kumar.
Sairam sir, I'm really grateful to you for the session and clearing all our doubts, sir. So I have a question. Actually, in fact, like I am slightly confused in putting the thoughts, like putting my question appropriately. It's related to like distinguishing between desires and goals. The book says to emphasize more on renunciation and like giving up on desires. But from my personal experience, like my growth is driven by goals. So is it that like goals with a greed is desire which Swami asks us to avoid? Or one straightforward question, is it okay to have goals and aspirations? And how can I distinguish between goal to desire? Is there any thin layer or fundamental principle wherein I can?
Yeah, good question. Good question, Ma. See, Swami says ceiling on desire. But what is that ceiling? कहाँ है सील करूं मैं? कहाँ डालूं सीलिंग को? So I was an Alto. I have an Alto 800 car. Should I want to go for a Vitara Brezza? Okay, मेरा सीलिंग है, चलो ठीक है. या नहीं मैं और 20 lakhs कार, नहीं 30 lakhs. मतलब सीलिंग कहाँ है? कैसे डालूं सीलिंग? अभी देखो इसमें what is the problem in this is that let us be very practical. What you are, Jeevan, that you are. ठीक है? If you simply just because I heard in some Swami's teaching and you're going to sit and suppress all your desire and live an artificial life which is not truly in alignment with who you are, आज नहीं तो कल वो volcano erupt हो जाएगा. Because as Swami said in the first question somebody asked, no, all three, we also have to sublimate our impulses. Genuine deep transformation of who I am, वो जब तक नहीं होता ना, कब तक हम लड़ेंगे अपने आप से? नहीं हो पाएगा. You can try, नहीं हो पाएगा. So that is why I, in my approach to myself, and to others, my advice is always, ठीक है, थोड़ा सा कंट्रोल में रखो, but at the same time, more important is to strengthen your inner sadhana. When you do that, automatically many of your desires will fall away. Automatically many of the things that you want, you feel complete you today, will suddenly look meaningless. On their own it will happen. खुद को इतना बुलंद करो कि बुरी आदतों को तुम्हें छोड़ना ना पड़े, वो तुमको छोड़ दें. You make yourself so aligned with the higher divine principle that you don't have to leave anything bad. All the bad, so-called bad things, they will leave you. You cannot fight darkness. You will have to put on the light. Darkness is gone. You can't fight darkness. Light dal do, baat khatam. Light kya hai? Inner. Now, as you start going within, what will happen as you start going within? Now, this is very practical. When you start meditating, you will see that, oh my God, मेरे meditation के रास्ते में ये सब आ रहा है. These desires are too much. They're coming in the way of they allowing me to meditate. You know, I'm watching too much TV, or I'm using too much phone. I am talking too much to my friends. I am doing too much partying, you know, or whatever. Okay, come karna padega. Automatically, when you start inner sadhana, you will know, you will see what is coming in the way, and you know, your outer life also will start changing. The most fundamental thing is not just to control senses, ceiling on desire छोड़ दो, नहीं होगा. पहले अपने आप को align करो. Increase your love for the divine principle. Automatically, then your outer life will start aligning. If you stick to that one sadhana, then vairagya will come, renunciation will come, desires will reduce, greater satisfaction, contentment, all that will follow. This is the practical way to go about it. This is my 2 cents.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeevan. Thank you. Yes, we have lots of hands now. यही होता है हम साई, मेरे बच्चों के साथ भी होता है. बच्चों means I mean my students. पहले वाले को क्वेश्चन पूछवाना बहुत मुश्किल है. The first guy to make him ask the question is very tough. उसके बाद उन लोगों को रोकना मुश्किल है. You know, this is our experience even in SSIHL. So yes, Prashant, go on.
I think, yeah.
भैया मेरा क्वेश्चन है, डाउट है रिगार्डिंग चैप्टर 10 का जो स्टार्टिंग में है, द वर्ल्ड इज फुल ऑफ वाइज एंड इग्नोरेंट एंड ध्यान हेल्प्स टू फाइंड द वाइज. इफ यू कैन प्लीज काइंडली एलैबोरेट ऑन दैट.
ये कम बोला स्वामी ने, ध्यान हेल्प्स यू टू फाइंड द वाइज.
और कुड बी माय इंटरप्रिटेशन.
ये बोलो ना यार. ध्यान हेल्प्स यू टू बिकम वाइज, है ना? क्या है डाउट, क्या है इसमें, क्वेश्चन क्या है तुम्हारा?
ये जो वर्ल्ड है ये फुल ऑफ वाइज एंड इग्नोरेंट है ना? नहीं है. ये दुनिया पूरा वाइज और इग्नोरेंट से भरा नहीं है. हम लोग वाइज, कभी वाइज हैं, कभी इग्नोरेंट हैं. वी, an individual, you Prashant, me Sanjay, we are a representation of the universe. जो भी बाहर दिख रहा है वो अंदर है. कभी हम वाइज हैं, कभी हम इग्नोरेंट हैं. कभी हम गुड कंपनी है, कभी हम बैड कंपनी है. कभी हम इनवर्ड डिवाइन है, कभी हम देव हैं, कभी हम असुर हैं. नहीं है. सच बोल रहा हूं कि नहीं? बिल्कुल.
फिर तो the wise in you will begin to come out more dominantly when you do more dhyana. तुम्हारे अंदर में जो हीरा है ना, वो ऑलरेडी है, उसको बनाना नहीं, ऑलरेडी है. उसमें से धूल हटा के उसको चमकाना है, पॉलिश. That process is called dhyana.
धन्यवाद भैया.
धन्यवाद प्रशांत, बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका आवाज सुन के. थैंक यू. Yes, who is next? There is one Sai Krishna, but I think you already spoke to Sai Krishna. Is it the same Sai Krishna?
No, sir. Sairam, sir.
Yes.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes. Who is his name?
Sir, Ponnapalli Sai Krishna from
Yes,
Odisha.
brother. Go on.
Sairam, sir, my question is, Swami in chapter 12 of Dhyana Vahini told that rich is essential, but surplus rich is not good for us. So here, what kind of rich Swami is going to indicate us?
Yeah.
And what he is telling us?
That's the problem. He did not say na कि this much money in your bank account is okay, उसके बाद मत करो. Then we could have added inflation. जब स्वामी ने बोला था 7.5% inflation, अच्छा 2022 में इतना पैसा बैंक में रहने से ठीक है, कर सकते थे, पर स्वामी ने ऐसे नहीं बताया. So स्वामी has left it to you to decide. That is the beauty of स्वामी. स्वामी जब इंटरव्यू में मेरे से बात करते थे, I used to ask them, स्वामी इसका मैं क्या करूं? You will be surprised. स्वामी used to say, ना उद्देश्यम लो,
means in my opinion you do this, बाकी तुम्हारी मर्जी. Swami had that humility. He would never say ये करो या ये मत करो. He would say, in my opinion it will be good if you do it this way, but you see, whatever you like you do. So what I'm saying is, see, Swami said surplus is not good. So what is surplus? How will you know? You will know if you connect to Swami within. That is my only answer. Because every other answer will create certain rules. Rules are for fools. Rules are for fools because rules बदलते रहते हैं. Consciousness बदलता नहीं है. So connect yourself to Swami. Ask this question to Swami. You may think it is difficult. I am saying it is not at all. You sit quietly in love, and just say, Swami, आपने ऐसे लिखा है 12th chapter में, मेरे पास अभी 90,000 rupees है. इसमें से मैं कितना अपने खुशी के लिए रखूं एंड कितना मैं सेवा में लगा दूं? बताओ ना. If you ask with innocence and purity, I guarantee you, you will get clarity. You will simply know. That's all. That is called aligning with the inner divine. Or you meditate. If you're not the type to ask Swami, then you meditate. Who am I? Deeply meditate. You will simply, from अंदर से clarity आ जाएगा. हाँ, this much seva I want to do. This much of my money I want to use for public good. Remaining I want. अंदर से तुमको clarity आना पड़ेगा और कोई रास्ता नहीं है. मैं इसका आंसर नहीं दे सकता, कोई इसका आंसर नहीं दे सकता. आपको when you become more and more refined within, you will get the clarity. Unfortunately, there is the only answer. There is no clear-cut answer ki what is surplus and what is not. Purnapalli, is that?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayank Mishra बहुत देर से raise किए हुए हैं. Mayank जी, आप हैं वहाँ पे?
Sairam.
Yes, Mayank.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I just wanted you to elaborate on the practical way to pay attention on I. That seemed very interesting, but it seems I lost it in theory. Now, does it involve?
I have lost. Sorry. Who has lost? I lost you. Who has lost it in theory?
Me. You said focus on.
Sorry. Who has lost it in theory?
Me. I didn't.
हाँ बस रुक जाओ वहीं. बस. I have lost it in theory. Who has lost it in theory? I. Don't go to the lost it in theory. Stay I. बस. अब बताओ इसमें क्या elaborate करूं? करके देखो जादू. Do it and see the magic.
When you say stop at I, what do you mean?
Bring attention. Now, I'll tell you. अभी आपके कमरे में शायद मे बी फैन चल रहा है, एसी चल रहा है, या बाहर ट्रैफिक का आवाज आ रहा है, मेरा भी आवाज आ रहा है. आप अगर ट्रैफिक का आवाज सुनने लगेंगे, you will miss my words. If you completely focus on my words, you will lose consciousness कि बाहर कुछ ट्रैफिक है भी. Both are simultaneously existing. Your attention and awareness makes something real and something else unreal. It is only your awareness and attention that makes something real and something unreal. If you focus completely on my words, all the sounds around you become unreal, non-existent. Now, we are used to becoming I am this, I am that. That's how the mind functions. Like your thought, hai na, I am lost in theory. This is what your mind is telling you. I am saying, fine, remain lost in theory. All I am saying is, I जब बोल रहे हो तो थोड़ा सा उस पे attention लाओ. Attention आने का मतलब क्या है? You just have to look at it. Give attention to your hands means, अच्छा, okay. You look at your hand with attention. That's all. That is all. I know it sounds very simple. That is all. I जो तुम बोल रहे हो, I am lost in theory. I am Mayank. Can I ask a question? Who wants to ask the question? We already saw Mayank is just a name. You have trained yourself to respond to body changes, breath changes, thought changes, emotions change. Everything about you is changing. Just I am does not change. So bring some attention back to the I am. Just आराम से बैठो, थोड़ा सा स्पाइन को एरेक्ट रखो, बहुत ज्यादा रखने की जरूरत नहीं, जितना थोड़ा कंफर्टेबली मेक इट एरेक्ट. 2-3 गहरे सांस लो and gradually bring your attention back to the I am thought. कैसे करना है practically? I. Just बोलो. Physically बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. Internally repeat करो. Not like a mantra. I जब बोल रहे हो तो bring attention back to the I. कैसा? उसको देखो. ये I है क्या? क्या जादू है? कहां से आ रहा है ये I? कौन डाला हमारे अंदर ये I? नाम माता पिता ने दिया, शरीर माता पिता ने दिया, दिमाग एजुकेशन से आया. आई किसने दिया? आई तो जैसे मैंने आंख खोला आई आ गया ना. आई किसी ने, nobody gave you this I. It is you. It is deeply, it is the most fundamental knowing of yourself. So ध्यान से बस उस आई को देखना है. पहले थोड़ा अजीब सा लगेगा, ये क्या है, कहां है, what I, where I, it's all confusing. When that thought comes, okay, it's all confusing. Who is getting confused? I am getting confused. Who am I? Like that. क्या मेथड यार, कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा है मुझे. ओके, किसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? अच्छा, मुझे नहीं. मैं कौन हूं? I. Like that. Keep getting your mind back to the I and keep paying attention to the I. Just stay there and then see the magic.
This overlaps a lot with one of these directions of meditation where you have to just be aware. Imagine yourself is like a vast space of consciousness and just focus. Noise aaya gaya, some thought came.
That is mindfulness. Yeah. That is mindfulness practice. This is slightly different. I don't want to go into the details now. It's slightly different. Don't confuse the two. If you're doing mindfulness, that's perfect. A lot of teachers of mindfulness, it's also a very good meditation. Mindfulness, witness, sakshi bhav, you can do that too. This is slightly different.
Yeah, because you also using awareness and all, and I suddenly clicked. Brother Amit Deshpande also, when he came, he also said, you are not angry, you are just aware you are angry.
Yeah.
So it also makes sense that मैं गुस्सा हूँ नहीं, कौन गुस्सा है वापस से, of making yourself aware of that anger. That's why I asked. So practically, thank you.
Absolutely. So perfect. So I'll add to what Ameya told. When you say I am angry, another way of saying it is there is anger and I am there. I am sad. There is sorrow and I am there. So एक distance हो जाता है. And then if moment you see, suddenly you feel little empowered over your anger, over your sadness. Irritation hai, but I am there. Instead of saying, I am irritated. मतलब मैं irritation हो गया, मैं ही हूँ irritation. I am irritated. No. Irritation is there and I am there. That is the same way of what Ameya is telling you. You are aware of irritation, but it is the same.
I think this also answers, like, if you have to, one of the brothers said, fight fear. So वो thought को देखो, like, why are you exactly. That also? That's
why I said you do this I am, just do it for 3 months. 90% of your questions will be answered. And जो 10% रह जाएगा, वो anyway उनको कोई मायने नहीं है. So basically 100% will be answered. Okay, we have to go ना, 8:35 हो गया. Yes, somebody has raised hand. KVSSS Ganesh.
Hi, brother. Can me the first question. Can I say, can I apply this to when I'm doing meditation? Meditation is going on and I am there.
This is meditation. Okay, I will tell you. Because, जब तक मैं नहीं बोलूं कि स्वामी ने बोला उस words के value नहीं है. I can understand that. ये कौन है ये संजय मालिंगम कहां से आ गया? I understand. Swami told me in 2009. Watching the coming and going of the I thought. Higher than that, there is no tapas. Exact quote Swami का ही interview room में. Watching the coming and going of the I thought, which means what I have told you is actually that only. I have explained to you in a simpler way, becoming mindful of the I thought. Swami said, watching the coming and going of the I thought, higher than this, there is no tapas. इससे बड़ा कोई साधना नहीं है. Tapas मतलब penance. Higher than this, there is no tapas. These are Swami's words. So this is meditation. To sit watching the eye will take you to a very, very deep and silent place within you. This is meditation. Yes, Ganesh?
Yeah,
Okay.
understood, but had to experience that maybe. And when you also told that just practice this questioning, where who is this I, and how it is acting. And also I tried in one of the discourses, Swami explained this. So for some time I practiced this. Then what I noticed is two things are happening inside. One, every thought, or let it be good or bad. So one always tells the right thing and it doesn't argue, and the other one, it tells the right thing and the wrong thing, but it always switches. So these are two scenarios I noticed when I question myself, being alone, and always like wonder when I'm happy. Or there is one point of time where what happened, I have to prepare for some my graduation examinations. So I couldn't find a right place to sit and complete my study. And the next day I have examination. So I ran out to a temple, and I went to some quiet place out of my village, and I ran here and there, but I couldn't find any place. Then I prayed to Swami. Swami, please help me to find a peaceful place where I can sit and do this. So then, literally, I found the answer in the right moment. Said that there is no quiet place as such, but it is your mind making you run here and out there. So just sit quietly and sing a bhajan, whatever you want. So I did that, and wherever I was sitting, there I found peace. Okay, then I understood that Shanti is in my thought or my heart.
Yeah.
So from then onwards, I started doing this question whenever I'm angry or when I'm not peaceful enough. Then where this anxiety is coming out, where this fear is coming out, all this kind of qualities. But always I found this two answers. One is doesn't argue, but it will say the right thing, and the second one catches the right one, but it will interpret in a different way, or according to the interests or according to the situation. And sometimes it takes the right path, and sometimes it doesn't take. So what next? I'm inquiring and noticing these things, and I've also found that it is not simple enough to follow the right path always. I don't know why.
What is your question? Is there a question?
Yeah. So what next? Like, when I'm noticing this, that that something is directing me to the right path, and something is arguing that is the right path according to the situation or not. And this I doesn't like, so I'm not going to.
So do what you feel right. What's the problem? Do what you feel right. Simple. What's the problem?
The problem is that what I feel right, but I can't take the right path. I'm not sure why. For example, about the controlling desire.
That is because impulse is too strong. Na? So you have to increase your sadhana. That's all.
Okay.
There's no other way. You have to increase our sadhana. The strength inside is still not enough. The strength of awareness has not matured still.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Saira.
For the questions, maybe we can. We will probably open the chat in the group. You can post your questions there. We shall communicate it to the brother, and we'll try to get it answered. First and foremost, let us offer a humble gratitude to Bhagwan for this wonderful opportunity to listen and ruminate through this session. And thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure listening to you for giving an excellent coverage to the diverse aspects of Dhyana Vahini, coupled with your personal experiences through this session full of interaction with our brothers. Thank you so much once again.
Once again, Sai Prakash, last year what we did, no, same way, students wrote their questions and sent me. I created video answers.
Yeah.
And I sent it.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
There are different organizers, so just as a video. The questions, if you are sending me, please don't send me general questions. If you have a specific question, elaborately write your question and send it to the organizers. They will send it to me. Okay, either to Sai Prakash or Miss Visalakshi, and they will send it to me, and I will compile them, put it together, and I'll create short 4 or 5 minute video answers.
Absolutely.
And I will share it with you. We can do that.
Yeah, I think that's a practice too. We'll post that in our NLP YouTube video as a YouTube video. Anybody can refer for the future reference. Thank you once again, sir, for this wonderful session. Now I'm handing over to Brother Varun for the Shanti Mantra, please.
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की।